Hey there everybody, Miss Johnson here. So I am starting an official new video series on my YouTube channel. It is going to be all about cursive. This was recommended by one of my students and I thought it was a great idea. So this video is just a quick introduction on different aspects of cursive that I think is really important to address before we actually get into the actual lessons. So each lesson will be a couple of different letters and then we'll work on blending those letters together. As you're following along, please grab a sheet of paper and write down what I'm writing down. I recommend lined paper just because it'll be a lot easier to make the letters. If you don't have lined paper, that's okay. Regular paper is fine, but just try your best and this will be fun. All right, let's get started. All right, you guys, this is going to be my desk. I unfortunately don't have one and my mom is at the dining room table downstairs. So I have to use this nice little board as my desk. So this is my R2-D2 desk. Hope you like it. All right, so today what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be doing an introduction of cursive, what it looks like and how it's different from actual just handwriting. So I'm going to write the word cursive. Nice and big. Okay, so a couple different things happened there. First of all, I didn't lift up my pen to dot my I until the very end. Notice how I write the entire word and then I dot my I. This is important because cursive is a way to write by just looping your words together rather than picking up. So this is what it would look like if I were doing regular hand print writing. So if you see the difference, I'm lifting up after each letter. So cursive is a way to kind of blend those together. Another thing that we're going to notice is that the letters look somewhat the same and somewhat different. C up here looks pretty similar. Connects into the U. You can see the U, there's a lot of loops. R is funky looking. R is probably one of the hardest ones that we'll get to. S is also hard too. It's curving like an S, but not in a way that we've seen. I is pretty self-explanatory. V looks pretty much the same, and then E looks similar as well. So we're gonna get into each of the letters and then how we can start blending them together. Another thing I wanted to focus on with cursive is usually when you're writing print, like the word hello, you just write it straight up and down. What cursive tries to do is it tries to kind of slant to the right. So I haven't done a really good job of slanting up here, but that was just because I was giving you examples. Also, I wasn't on any lines. I'm gonna try doing lines. How I'm doing my lines is I'm doing 2 lines to show you kind of where the letters should stop. So this is halfway point, top and bottom. So if I were to do this on a regular, on like a handwriting sheet, this is what these lines would look like. But I'm not going to do that for all of them. It's a waste of my time, so I'm just going to show you. So I'm going to go right here and I'm going to write the word hello. Now, cursive tries to slant a little bit to the right, not too much. I'm not writing like this. This would be very challenging. No, I'm not doing that. What I'm doing is slanting a little bit to the right. The reason we want to slant into the right is because that's the way your words are going. So you want to slant into the next word. You have to kind of work on moving your hand at a different pace where you just constantly are writing and writing and writing. It's almost to look like this, like if you were scribbling, if you were younger or something. It's just a way to kind of help connect. So if I were to do a hello again, I need to kind of move my wrist and my hand all the way over. Another thing I wanted to get into before I actually start teaching the different letters is talking about the ending of some of the letters. So this is my top line, bottom line. Here's my middle line right here. We'll start with the letter A. Letter A is very simple. Just make an A and it has a nice little ending right here. The reason we have this curved ending is because with cursive, we're linking letters together. So this part right here goes in this one and it actually starts to form our T. If I were to do a T, just making the letter, that's what it would look like. It kind of starts at the bottom right here. This is where we would connect with our A and then it goes in, and it also has this nice little ending right here. We always kind of have, here's C. We kind of have these little endings right here because typically cursive goes into, cursive always goes into the next letter. If we were looking at the word cursive, notice how my V might look a little bit different. So this is what a V looks like. V has this little kind of U-shaped thing at the very end. It's really small, just at that middle line right there, just a little dip. The reason we have this is because we need to differentiate V between a U. So they're very, very similar as they both kind of start out the same, but the ending is different. So this is the V and this is the U. So notice how V has kind of a little bit of a different ending. They both start very similar where they start at the bottom, do a loop, start at the bottom, do a loop, and then this one has a typical ending like we see in A or T, but V has this little shape right here. That's to distinguish between the two ones. So then when you start a new letter after V, you're gonna not start at the bottom like you typically do. So let's try a VA. So this is the V, little kind of U-shaped thing, and then it goes right into your A. So again, V, little U into the A. Versus if I were to do a UA, so a U, A. Kind of goes in regularly with that A where we start at the bottom, kind of make that little, make the A. So last thing I want to talk about is that typically when you learn cursive, you're not learning the alphabet in alphabetical order. You're not learning A, B, C, D, E, F. You're going to learn letters that are grouped together based on what they look like. But I'm going to kind of show you what all the letters look like right now so you can kind of look forward to that. So here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, B, W, oops, X, Y, and Z. All right, so there is the whole alphabet. As you can see, most of the letters look very similar. A looks like A, C looks like C, D, E, and then we get into some kind of tricky ones. B is kind of a tricky one. F can be a little bit tricky for some. The difference between M and N can be challenging too and a little bit harder to read. R is one of those challenging ones. S might be hard. X and Z. Those are kind of the hard ones. So we'll get into the ones that are very similar to how they look. Again, I want to point out here is O, here is V and W, and B. They all have that kind of silly little U shaped at the end of their letter to distinguish it. Again, B looks very similar to L, but it has that little loop, okay? O doesn't look like anything. R and S are very, very similar, just kind of the way that you create the little ending to it. And X and Z are also kind of similar in the beginning there. So stay tuned for my next episode that will talk about some specific letters of cursive. Thank you so much.